Welcome to Straight No Chaser. So grab a glass and join your hosts, your girl MBZ, Pastor C, Thin Bad, and the Chief.
That photo and the racist and
are the only thing you can treat. And the mainstay of being healthy is to not contract the virus.
Sure. Wow. So you say it actually started with snakes?
Yes.
Wow. See, I hadn't heard that one. Now, I'd heard all kinds of other things in terms of the origin of this, but I never heard snakes on any of the reporting from anywhere. Wow. So from that origin, it then spread to human beings. Is that what I'm to understand?
Absolutely. It's funny how God works. Today I received an article from one of the renowned discoverers of this virus. And many people don't realize, they think that coronavirus is new, but this particular doctor was one of the discoverers of coronavirus in the 1970s. And so it's been around that long. So if you would, or if you don't mind, I'd like to read this because I think it's going to be really important. A lot of very important points in how to prevent contracting the virus.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. We'd definitely like to hear that.
Okay, this article is from Dr. James Robb, who was MD at the University of San Diego. And he says that the article is titled, "What Am I Doing for the Upcoming Coronavirus Pandemic?" And he writes, "Dear colleagues, as some of you may recall, when I was a professor of pathology at the University of California, San Diego, I was one of the first molecular virologists in the world to work on coronaviruses. This was in the 1970s. I was the first to demonstrate the number of genes the virus contained. Since then, I've kept up with this coronavirus field and multiple clinical transfers into the human population from different animal sources. The current projections for its expansion in the United States are only probable due to continued insufficient worldwide data, but it is most likely to be widespread in the U.S. by the mid to late March and April. Here's what I have done and the precautions that I take and will take. These are the same precautions that I currently use during our influenza seasons, except for the mask and the gloves. Number one, no handshaking. Use a fist bump, slight elbow bump, etc. Number two, use only your knuckle to touch light switches, elevator buttons, etc. Lift the gasoline dispenser with a paper towel or use a disposable glove. Number three, open doors with your closed fist or hip. Do not grasp the handle with your hand unless there's no other way to open the door. Especially important on bathrooms, post office, commercial doors. Number four, use disinfectant wipes at stores when they are available, including wiping the handles and child seats in grocery carts. Number five, wash your hands with soap and hot water or warm water for 10 to 20 seconds and use a greater than 60% alcohol-based hand sanitizers whenever you return home from any activity that involves the locations where other people have been. Number six, keep a bottle of sanitizer available at each of your home's entrances and in your car for use after getting gas, touching other contaminated objects when you can't immediately wash your hands. Number seven, if possible, cough or sneeze into a disposable tissue and discard. Use your elbow only if you have to, because the clothing on your elbow will contain infectious virus that can be passed on for up to a week or more. Then what I have stocked in preparation for pandemic spread in the United States. Number one, latex gloves, disposable gloves for use when shopping, getting gasoline, all other outside activities when you come in contact with contaminated areas. Note, this virus is spread in large droplets by coughing and sneezing. That means that the air will not infect you, but all the surfaces where these droplets land are infectious for about a week on average. Everything that is associated with infected people will be contaminated and potentially infectious. The virus is on surfaces and will not infect you unless your unprotected face is directly coughed or sneezed upon. This virus has cell receptors for lung cells only. It only infects your lungs. The only way the virus can infect you is through your nose or mouth via your hands or an infected cough or sneeze that's directly into your nose or mouth. Stock up now with disposable surgical masks and use them to prevent, listen to this, use them to prevent you from touching your nose or mouth, because we touch our nose or mouth more than 90 times a day without even noticing it. This is the only way the virus can infect you. It is lung specific. The mask will not prevent the virus in a direct sneeze or getting into your nose or mouth. It is only to keep you from touching your nose or mouth. Stock up with hand sanitizers. Remember, it's important to use alcohol-based, at least 60% alcohol, in order to be effective against the virus. Stock up on zinc lozenges. These lozenges have been proven to be effective in blocking coronavirus and most other viruses from multiplying in your throat or nasal pharynx. Use as directed several times a day when you begin to feel any cold symptoms. Beginning, lie down and let the lozenge dissolve in the back of your throat and nasal pharynx. Cold Ease is one brand of these viruses. As many others do, I hope as many others do, that this pandemic will be reasonably contained, but personally, I don't think it will be. Humans have never seen this snake-associated virus before and have no internal defense against it. Tremendous worldwide efforts are being made to understand the molecular and clinical virology of this virus. An unbelievable molecular knowledge about the genomic structure and virulence of this virus has already been achieved, but there will be no drugs or vaccines available this year to protect us from limit the infection of this virus within. Only symptomatic support is available.
Wow.
Well, he goes on to say he hopes that this information will be helpful, and if you use these precautions, you will hopefully prevent yourself from contacting this virus.
Wow. Well, first, thank you for sharing that with us. I mean, certainly those tips, those preventive tips were, I'm sure that's going to be very helpful to our listeners. Just in terms of the biology of this, and I'm going to throw this your way, Dr. Audrey, is when you're talking about transmission. So, for example, in your line of work, can this be transmitted, for example, in the dentist's office? Can people in those situations contract the virus? Should people with those types of special issues take extra precautions on top of what we were just